blast. Teenage dreams and neon screens. It was all rad, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like whatever, together forever. We're never gonna sever, laughing and sharing our stories clever. We'll take you back, it's like whatever.
Welcome to Like Whatever, a podcast for, by, and about Gen X. I'm Nicole, and this is my BFFF, Heather.
Bah humbug.
So we are recording on Christmas Eve.
It is Christmas Eve.
It is. So hopefully when you hear this, you will have had a nice holiday.
Yes.
And Santa brought you everything that you wanted.
Yep. He's bringing me everything I want, which is spending the day by myself.
Perfect.
I know. I'm so excited. Joe has to work. I'm home alone. It's the best Christmas ever.
You had Instacart drop off.
I had Instacart drop off food.
So you can
I'll be making
veg
myself
out.
dinner. I'm excited for it.
It's pretty perfect.
It really is. It's like the greatest thing ever. Everybody gets so bent out of shape about it too. They're like, how could you spend Christmas alone? Because that's all I want to do is spend aloneness.
Yeah.
Just want to be alone.
Yeah,
Leave me the fuck alone.
exactly.
If I'm not worried, I'm not sad. Trust me.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I have. Oh, you want to come have dinner? No. No, I don't. I want to stay home by myself and cook my own turkey in my own oven in my pajamas.
Yeah.
Which I wore my today was pajama day at work.
Nice.
I wore my any chance I get to wear pajamas and leave the house, I'm gonna take it. What'd you do this week?
Not a whole lot. Just worked. The governor gave state employees off today, so
Nice.
yesterday was my last day of work, and I don't go back until after the new year. So
Lucky
go me.
bitch.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's good to be a state employee.
Yeah, I guess.
Doing a bunch of last minute shopping. This lady cracked me up. I was in Food Lion, and there were the fast lanes.
Uh-huh.
There were two side by side, and kind of the lines were kind of merged. I wasn't really sure.
Right.
And so like the one line moved. So I asked her if she would like to go up there. And she just calmly looked at me and shook her head no. And she was like, I'm getting a break from my 4 children right now. I was like, oh, the longer the line, the better. She's like, yes.
Yeah, I get that.
I was like, okay.
I get that. Yeah, I finished my shopping the other day. I did it all online. I cheated.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did go to TJ Maxx the other day. I got a couple of things.
Yeah. It was fun being out today. A lot of like families out in matching pajamas, and it was cute.
Sure.
Some people look like they were having fun.
Not everybody.
No, not everyone.
No, I don't know. I have a Redner's on my route. And yesterday when I went, I was like, hey, I knew how late they were going to, it wouldn't have mattered if they were open how late today, but I figured I would just ask because I knew I would be there before 12. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, what time are you closing? And they're like, oh, don't worry about stopping by. And I was like, oh, fucking thank God, because the thought of going into this parking lot and into the store, even to drop something off, is just maddening. So
that was nice of them.
Yes. And the bank also told me not to worry about it today. So they said, don't worry about it. We'll see after Christmas. And I was like,
that's awesome.
Right on. I know. I had some really cool businesses on my route. So it's been like stupid cold.
Oh my gosh. Like it stayed warm forever. And now
we didn't get fall.
No.
And then, okay, so it's not as cold as like, Wisconsin or places where it actually gets cold, but it's cold for here. Mm-hmm. And so I have to work outside, and yes. I was really, really cold on Saturday. I mean, like, just couldn't feel my fingers, anything. And I was so looking forward to getting home and taking a hot-ass shower. And on my way, I get a text from my husband that was like, hey, we don't have any hot water. And I was like, I hate my life.
No.
I know. That's all I was thinking about was how hot, because our shower gets, like, ridiculously hot.
You're crazy. I don't take hot showers.
Oh, I have to take a hot shower. And I will be in there until the water runs cold. So then we didn't have hot water on Sunday either.
It's no wonder your hot water heater broke.
Well, that's probably why, because I just run the hell out of it. And then yesterday, so my dad came and fixed it
Nice.
because he's handy that way.
Nice.
And so we had here's what I don't get. Okay, just tell me this makes no sense, because it made no sense to me.
Okay.
So we had hot water.
Okay.
But for some reason, earlier in the day, when I left for work yesterday morning, we had water because I brushed my teeth and I went to the bathroom and I filled the dog's bowl. So I know we had water.
Right.
And then I left. And then I get a text in the middle of the day that says, your dad is here, but now we have no water at all. And I'm like, wait, but there was water this morning. And then I get a text later that says, okay, we have hot water again. And I was like, yes, I'm going to have a hot ass shower. And then it was, but we don't have cold water. And I was like, how is that a thing? So I was like, what? No, that's not possible. Because if you have hot water, then cold water goes. I know how water heaters work. It's like.
They shut off a valve somewhere?
No, because my dad and I did it. And so I get home and he's there and he's like, okay, I took a hot shower. We have hot water. It'll be good for you. But and he had all the faucets in the house, all the other faucets in the house open, and nothing was coming out of any of them. None of them. But the toilet flushed and refilled and the shower worked. And it wasn't just hot ass water that came out of the shower. Like, it was an equal amount. So I don't understand how. But then this morning when I got up, we had all water. So I have no idea what happened. But I do know that I took a hot ass shower last night and then there was water this morning. But the poor bird wanted to take a bath because every time we got near, it was like the water was dripping because we left it on, what night? Saturday night? Yes. Saturday night we let it run. No, Friday. We've been letting it run since Friday. We let it run Friday, drip all night. And then we let it run Saturday. And then I was going to let it run all Sunday. Just so it didn't freeze. And then we didn't have water. I don't know. I don't know how that happens. Joe was like, I don't know if it's because those pipes run through the attic and there's like a chunk of ice in there. And I was like, that doesn't, but some places have what? But the bathroom sink does not have any water, but the toilet and the shower, which are like 5 feet away from each other, all have water. So this makes no sense. I don't know what the hell. But this morning we had all kinds of water.
I can't wait to see what you have tomorrow.
Hey, who knows? It might be all filled with water. I might have a pool and not know about it. So I don't know what the hell happened. But the poor bird didn't get her bath.
Oh,
I know. And now she's going to be really pissed off today because I don't let her out. I get home so late on Tuesdays from us recording. Nicole lives like an hour away from me, so it takes me an hour to get home. And I don't let her out, and she gets very upset about. Oh, and then what day was it? One of the days we didn't have water. We were changing the filter for the heater, and the thing was open because we didn't get a filter yet. We forgot about the filter, so we took the old filter out and we were like, oh, we'll put another one in there, but it was open. And it didn't dawn on me until the bird had been out for like an hour and a half and she noticed it.
Oh, no.
And I was like, what are you looking at? Oh, fuck. And I had to run over and I'm like trying to shut the thing because she was looking at it like, I am out of here, bitch. So I got it shut. And so the bird did not escape.
Thank God. You would have been devastated.
I would have. I love that stupid ass little bird.
Yeah.
I have a kayik. I know nobody has ever heard of it. They're also called white-bellied parrots or black-legged parrots.
Okay.
And she's so cute and she's hilarious. But these are not a beginner bird, and I am a beginner bird owner. And she bites the shit out of me. And I was reading last night. I was reading more up on it. Now I'll do the research on it.
Yeah.
I did the research before.
I know you did.
But so one of the things was like, are they nippy? And it was like, yeah. And they can inflict a dangerous bite. And I was like, no shit, because I have right now, currently, she bit in between my finger But she doesn't mean it.
I know. That's what I say about my cats too when they bite me.
Well, the problem is she's only 3, so it's a play bite, and like they're very. When I was reading about whether or not I should get her a little friend, I can't afford a little friend because these birds are stupid expensive. But I got mine for free. I didn't pay that much for it. I was looking into getting a friend, and they said don't get any other kind of bird other than a kayik because they play so rough. That they can really seriously injure another bird. And if you watch the videos, they like tumble around on the floor together. And when she plays, she is very rough when she plays. And then she was trying to give me kisses, and she was making the kissy noise. And I was like, no, because you're just going to bite my face. I do not want to have my face bit right now. But yeah, so that's what I did. I had to save my bird from escaping out into the wild. I don't think she would have done very well because I think they're from the Amazon, and it's
wicked cold.
Not. Oh, and you know what else I did this week?
Oh,
this is horrible. Speaking of birds, I was delivering in my apartments, and I come out of the one apartment, and I see a hawk fly down. This is the second day in a row that I saw a hawk fly out of nowhere. One came straight across my windshield, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So I go out, and there's a hawk, and it's like diving down in the parking lot, and I was like, oh shit, what's that hawk? And then I see feathers everywhere, and I was like, oh no. Because when I had drove by earlier, I saw a pigeon, and I thought it was weird. I never see pigeons there. And I was like, I wonder if that's somebody's racing pigeon, because it was just sitting kind of not doing anything.
Right.
So I go over to look, and it, in fact, the hawk did have the pigeon. The pigeon got away. And the pigeon goes under a car, and then the hawk flies away, and I probably would be faster at delivering if I didn't fuck around with birds all day. So the hawk takes off and is in a house across the street, is up on the roof. And I was like, oh shit. So I'm going to look for this pigeon, like I'm going to do something for it. But I was actually trying to see if it had a band or anything on it in case it was somebody's pigeon. So I'm trying to find it, and it's dodging underneath cars, and I'm looking, and then it pops out from under a car, and it takes off flying. And then the hawk went after it. So I think I made the situation worse. And then I was like, I'm just going to get in the truck because either I just killed that pigeon or I made that hawk's day. I don't really know what.
I mean, it's the circle of life.
I didn't see either of them. And there were trees. Maybe it had gotten to the trees without the hawk getting it, but I doubt it.
We had a hawk eat a squirrel out in our backyard the other day. So
lovely.
That was fun. Because I feed the squirrels.
Oh, no.
So I was a little devastated.
I bet. That's sad. It's so sad. I mean, I get it. It's the circle of life, but I don't want to have to know about it. Like, I get it. A hamburger is a cow, and I like cows, but I don't want to know how it became a hamburger.
Right. Exactly.
I just want to pretend like it's not.
If wildlife could just keep it a little more private.
Right. Like, what are you doing out in the middle of nowhere? Eating pigeons and shit. That's just wrong. Anyway, all right. Okay. So let's fuck around and find out about Y2K.
I'm so excited because I did not read the script this week, and I hear there's a lot of really cool stuff in here.
I don't know about a lot. I'm making most of it up, but
and I live this. And
yeah, she did.
I'm going to be a little bit embarrassed by the stuff I share about myself today, but
she really should be.
It's too relevant to the story to not share.
So my sources were Britannica.com, si.edu, and howtogeek.com. So I did actually learn a lot about Y2K. Like, I thought, much like everybody else, it was just a big, like, it was all this fuss and much ado about nothing, and then it came and went, and nothing, no planes dropped out of the sky, nothing bad happened. So it was like, well, that was a waste of my ear.
Right.
25, and it's actually been, if you can believe this one, because I was like, oh, I should do Y2K because this episode airs right before the new year. That's cool. But then it dawned on me it has been 25 years. 25 years.
So perfect timing.
So 25 years ago, the apocalypse was looming.
Oh, yes, it was.
Many computer programs, especially those written in the early days of computers, were designed to abbreviate 4-digit years as 2 digits in order to save memory. So when the year 2000 happens, they were afraid that it would be unable to recognize the 00 as 2000 and interpret it to mean 1900, thus failing to operate. Also, a lot of software did not take into account that the year 2000 was a leap year. And there was like a whole lot of stuff I didn't understand about how they incorporate leap years into computer programming.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
So
never
it's
thought
not
about that.
Yeah, I didn't either. And it was like, oh, and then I tried to read it and I was like, okay, that's not going to stick anywhere that it needs to stick. So we'll just move on. I'm just going to tell you that it's a problem. It has to be programmed in there. It was feared that some computers might fail on September 9th, 1999, 9999, because early programmers often used a series of nines to indicate the end of a program.
I remember that too.
Yes, that was another apocalypse that didn't happen.
That did not happen.
The most at risk were mainframe computers, of course, like so insurance, banks, utilities. Many devices containing computer chips ranging from elevators to temperature control systems in commercial buildings to medical equipment. They were all believed to be at risk, which, that's going to be a problem.
That's a bad thing.
Yeah, the world's going to shut down. Okay, so they knew this was going to be a problem in 1984 in a book called Computers in Crisis. And then they reissued the article in a book called The Year 2000 Computing Crisis. And she's taking pictures of me, and that's not right. It's first recorded. Now you got me fucked up. So Computer World in 1993 had a 3-page Doomsday 2000 article, and they said that the New York Times called it the information age equivalent of the midnight ride of Paul Revere, because everybody was, not in 93 yet, then nobody was freaking, they were all, computer programmers were freaking out.
Right.
Because they knew this was going to be a problem in 1980, in the 80s.
Right.
The acronym Y2K has been attributed to Massachusetts programmer David Eddy, that he sent in an email he sent in 1995. People were calling it CDC Century Date Change, FADL Faulty Date Logic. But I don't know.
No, you said that exactly right.
I know, but where did the other A come? FADL. There's no other A. It's just FDL.
Oh no, I noticed that too.
That's weird. I don't know. They left the A out.
FDL must have stood for something else.
Yeah, I guess. But Y2K just, sounded better. A Y2K preparedness survey commissioned in 98 showed that among 13 economic sectors studied in the United States, government was the least ready for Y2K.
Shocker.
I know. So in October of 98, Bill Clinton signed the year 2000 Information and Readiness Disclosure Act.
If I could interrupt there for a second.
Certainly.
Shout out to Bill Clinton. Was in the hospital. He got out.
He did get out.
Yeah.
Yes. And I said Jimmy Carter was going to outlive everybody on Earth. The law was designed to encourage American companies to share Y2K data by offering them limited liability protection for sharing information about Y2K products, methods, and best practices. So basically they were like, we don't know what to do. So if Elon Musk had been, around, they would have been like, hey, Elon, we're going to need your brain for a minute. And so they, private companies were also working on it. So because the world was not ready, in mid-December of 98, the UN convened its first international conference on Y2K in an attempt to share information in crisis management efforts and establish the International Y2K Cooperation Center based in Washington, D.C. $300 to $600 billion were spent worldwide, the $100 billion in the United States alone.
For something that never
fixing
happened.
this problem.
Fixing it.
Fixing the problem. We'll get there.
Oh, sorry.
How was it fixed? Well, the obvious way to do it was to expand the date to 4 digits.
Right.
But that was going to cost a lot of money due to reasons I'm not smart enough to understand.
Spend a lot of money.
well, yeah. I guess it was for smaller entities.
They wouldn't have
been able to spend their money.
Right.
I don't. There is a lot of computer stuff on this that I was like, I don't get that.
But we'll share it for those of you that do understand it.
Yeah. It was like a lot of different. Anyway, another way to fix it was that month values can be higher than 12, but two digits can hold values up to 99. So you could use the month value as a flag. And this is the one that involved a whole bunch of math that I did not understand. And it was like I was reading Chinese. I don't know what any of those months meant. I don't know. It didn't make, and it didn't even like look like it made any sense to me. So I said, fuck that shit. I'll just tell you that that's what happened.
And you can look it up
And
if you're interested.
You can do the math on your own time. Some removed the month. So instead of month, day, year, it was day. So day of the year, 1 to 365. Century, year. Obviously the year.
Right.
Then this one is interesting. It's pivot years. So if all of your existing data was newer than 1921, then you could use 1920 as a pivot year. Any dates between 00 and 20 were taken to mean 2000 to 2020. Anything from 21 to 99 meant 1921 to 1999.
Okay.
And that is what a lot of places went with. Like, just pretend nothing happened before 1921 so that when the year 2000 rolls around up to 2020, so that's foreshadowing. So the doom spread through media outlets, of course, and it added to the overall fear of major system failures. Monarch Home Video released one of the few Y2K themed products with their 1999 1-hour family survival guide video. Actor Leonard Nimoy narrated the show and in a slow, controlled voice described the disasters the world was about to face. I watched 15 minutes of it yesterday. That's as far as I could get. And I love Leonard Nimoy, but it goes on about Atlantis and ancient revelations, and then it just tells you all the ways you're going to die. It is epic, but it was an hour long, and I was like, I can't. I'm sorry, Leonard. I'm sorry, Mr. Spock, but I can't. I can't with you right now. It's too much with your ancient Atlantis. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, it's a computer, not an asteroid. So this is where Nicole's going to come in because I know this is exciting. I this is the part I can't wait for. A variety of fringe groups and individuals, such as those with some fundamentalist religious organizations, survivalist cults, antisocial movements, self-sufficiency enthusiasts, and those attracted to conspiracy theories, called attention to Y2K fears and claimed that they provided evidence for their respective theories, end-of-the-world scenarios, and apocalyptic themes. The interest in the survivalist movement peaked in 1999 in its second wave for that decade, triggered by Y2K fears. In the time before extensive efforts were made to rewrite computer programming codes to mitigate the problem, some people anticipated worldwide power outages, food and gasoline shortages, and other emergencies. They raised the alarm because they thought Y2K code fixes were not being made quickly enough, while a range of authors responded to the wave of concern. Two of the most survival-focused texts to emerge were Boston on Y2K in 1998 and the Hippie Survival Guide to Y2K. So this is where we're going to...
So yeah, when you said the fringe group, religious organization, survivalist cults, antisocial, self-sufficient enthusiasts, yes, to all of those.
Yes.
So this was in my past life, my first marriage. So yeah, anyway, I was a part of all of this.
She was. Oh, wait, can I first?
Yes.
I have
Anything to save me from happening.
I have known Nicole since 1992.
Yes.
I think I have seen Nicole without makeup 5 times in those years. I think I have seen her without her hair done 0 times. And she lived with me for like 4 months. So, continue.
Okay. So it doesn't even matter. We had this group of friends and we were preparing for Y2K. I'm pretty sure we prepared for the end of the Mayan calendar too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we, for a couple years, were stockpiling freeze-dried food, canned goods, gas masks, the foil blankets, tents. And then part of our group bought a mountain in West Virginia, like the whole mountain, a very, very, very rugged wilderness. Like you had to cross a creek to get to the spot where you could camp. And we went down there frequently, setting up latrines, and I think we ended up with yurts at some point and cooking. Like it just, I mean, I will say it was really cool because you would go like far out in the woods and bathe in the creek, and like there's something about like just bathing naked out in the creek. Although I was in West Virginia, so of course the
Appalachia.
Yeah, the what's the movie?
Oh,
Deliverance
yeah.
is in my head nonstop. Like I'm certain some hillbillies are going to come take me
Hey,
away.
if you didn't see a Yeti or a Bigfoot or whatever they call them in Appalachia, I don't think that
I saw absolutely nothing.
no
like that.
Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had escape route plans, like paper maps with it mapped out. If shit goes down and we're still in Delaware, where we have to go, where we're going to have to cross water. Like
I don't think bridges were going to fall down. I don't think computers programmed bridges, but
No, there was going to be military at the bridges.
oh, excuse, I didn't
yes.
know.
Yes. So,
See, every time
we thought of everything.
Every time she would talk about this, I'd be like, sure, sure. You're going to go live in the middle of the woods with no hairdryer and no makeup. Okay.
I didn't want to. I was always really, really, really hoping none of that stuff would happen. So, although I never really thought that any of it would, but I had to play along because that was the relationship that I was in at the time.
And you had a kid.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And we took him there too.
Poor kid.
I know.
Yeah.
If it would have just been like camping on a private mountain in West Virginia, it would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like it really was neat. And I love to cook like over a campfire because I did a lot of camping in my younger days. And there was a guy at the top of the mountain that owned like the other part. And he had a fresh trout stream or pond or whatever. So he'd bring us down fresh trout and I'd clean them and cook them on the campfire. Yeah. I was always really good at breakfast too.
Pioneer girl.
I can do it all. You know what?
Hey, if you can do a winged eyeliner and you can camp on and you can cook trout on a campfire.
Hell yeah.
That's all you need for Y2K. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my embarrassing story. I was really, really, really wrapped up in this, although I didn't really believe in any of it. It's just the situation I was in at the time.
Yeah, it was pretty entertaining. And then when she said, "Oh, we got this mountain," I was like, "Oh, for the love!" I mean, come on. Okay, and you can come too. I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna stay here. I'll deal with whatever zombie thing happens here. Let's be fine. If it gets real bad, I'll just go drown in the ocean.
Yeah, that would have been a way better option than all the shit I went through.
Look, all this, because that was like huge. The preppers then were just like, there was like every TV show was like preppers this and preppers that. And they had like the buckets you could buy and like all this shit. Yeah. That was prepper crazy and build a bunker and all this craziness in your go bag. You had to carry a bag with you everywhere you went in case shit got real. And then you buried buckets everywhere.
At meeting points. We had meeting points if we all had to leave and, try to get there.
Let me tell you how I do not want to be alive in a world where preppers get to be right.
Yes, I agree with that 1,000,000,000%.
I do not want to be in a society without cable.
I am not built to be a survivalist.
No, I am not.
It's a lot of work.
And
there's no downtime.
You watch all these I survived and I was in a plane crash and I lived in the Amazon hooked to a tree for 6 months. I don't possess the will to live like that. I do not. Yeah. I would definitely.
I mean, the one that really gets me is mountain climbers. Ugh. What is wrong with you?
I know. What? On Mount Everest, there's all these dead bodies you have to walk past that are just frozen in time. Why? Just to say you did it? Okay, good for you.
So
what? Who cares?
So you got to tell 20 people you did it?
And none of them cared.
No. Because you're probably that guy that does CrossFit too.
Oh, when I did the summit of Mountain. Good for you. Shut up. No one cares. Why? It's cold.
Exactly.
You know what I've done? I've been in a plane, flew over it. Big deal.
Yeah. There you go.
I rode in a
I've seen
tube.
Pictures of it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. I rode in a tube over top of it.
Yeah, I agree.
So, other than preppers, then we have my favorite, the Reverend Jerry Falwell. Yes. He suggested that Y2K would be the confirmation of the Christian prophecy.
Oh, come on.
Yes. God's instrument to shake this nation, to humble this nation. The Y2K crisis might incite a worldwide revival that would lead to the rapture of the church.
Can I stop you there for a second?
You sure can.
There is a commercial. Have you seen it with the old minister dude that's God loves you and Jesus and blah, blah, blah. And say this prayer with me. And then he says a prayer.
No.
And then he's like, now call this number. And I'm like, dude, that shit pisses me off. Because you know what? It's the old people on Social Security that are calling and giving this bitch who is probably worth billions of dollars.
Don't even, how I feel about, I have my mother-in-law is that person.
Yeah.
So she will, yes.
It's just so shitty.
She will give everything she has to.
And people wonder why we're not Christian.
It's look, don't get me wrong. If it's your bag, that's fine. But these people that go way over the edge.
Yeah, and I'm not knocking all Christians. My assistant at work, Miss Ruth, who I adore, is a very Christian woman, God-fearing. And when she says she's going to pray for me, that means something to me. Because she means it. I'll take whatever you can get me. Typically, when people say a prayer or something, I don't bow my head and close my eyes. I mean, I'm not rude about it, but I just, but we had our work lunch and Miss Ruth did the blessing. I dropped my head and closed my eyes so fast. And I said amen when she was done. But I love that woman. And she is a true Christian woman. She's a good person. So I am not knocking all Christians. I'm not.
I have a coworker that he is a God-fearing man, and he gives me a hug every single solitary day, and I'm pretty sure he's trying to save my soul. And I love him. He is the best, but I don't think
Does
it's
he know
gonna
you
work.
don't have a soul to save?
I think that's why I don't think he knows
That's why he's so drawn to you. He's it's so dark.
That one
it's
needs
so dark.
to be saved. But yeah, everybody and
but he means it with the best of intentions.
And
with love in his heart.
Hey,
so
if you want to pray, he tells me all the time, we prayed for you this week. And I'll take the prayer.
Absolutely.
And when I die and there is the pearly gates, I'm hoping that he is standing there waiting. And it's that one.
Yep.
Let me in.
That's the one I chose.
Yeah. So
you said it was a +1.
He does. And I just, it's funny to me. And it's funny to everybody else because, I look the way I look and he just loves me.
Sounds like a good man.
Oh, he loves me.
Good.
So back to Mr. Falwell. Yeah. He said, you have to he encouraged food hoarding, taking lessons in self-sufficiency and weapons stockpiling, and, you know,
And I wonder how much of a cut he got for
I'm sure that they
these
were
companies
selling,
that he was. Yeah, their commercials probably ran during his TV shows.
and I'm sure he had his own piece of that pie that he was. Yeah,
No doubt.
I don't think anything Jerry Falwell does is above board.
Out of the goodness of his heart.
No, I don't think he's trying to help you get. He's not going to help you when. Anyway. The Chicago Tribune reported that some large fundamentalist churches, motivated by Y2K, were the sites for flea markets and the sale of paraphernalia designed to help people survive a social order crisis, ranging from gold coins to wood-burning stoves. Yeah. And here's like, so, okay. As I get it, there won't be any money. I mean, there still would be paper money because it was only 2000. So we hadn't completely switched over to what, like nowadays, yeah, it's going to be a problem because I can't, if I don't have my phone, I don't know how much money I have.
Right.
I can't get to it.
Right.
And it's all just, and now money is just numbers that move from one account to it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything anymore.
Right.
I mean, you can move money so easy.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, then it was paper money. Like, and why is gold so? You can get fucking gold anywhere.
Yeah. But
Why?
it's always been.
I know. Why?
Always.
I mean, nowadays you can get gold and it's everywhere. Like, why is it so valuable? It's ugly too. I don't know. Yellow gold is horrible.
Ew.
I know.
Gold
Platinum
hater.
is where it's at.
That's right.
I'm going to get silver. See what happens. So, yeah, the flea market gold. So many of them used Y2K to promote a political agenda in which the downfall of the government was a desired outcome in order to usher in Christ's reign. The cold truth is that preaching chaos is profitable.
Yep.
And calm doesn't sell many tapes or books.
Yep.
Y2K fears were described dramatically by New Zealand-based Christian prophetic author and preacher Barry Smith in his publication I Spy with My Little Eye. That's clever. Where he dedicated an entire chapter to Y2K. But most people didn't think that it was going to be the rapture.
Yeah.
As, you know.
Most people.
So it became clear that leaders of these fringe groups and churches had manufactured fears of the apocalypse to manipulate their followers into a dramatic sense of mass repentance and renewed commitment to their groups, as well as using additional giving of funds.
Shocker.
I know. Christian leader Colonel Stranger in his commentary published Fear Creating Writers sold over 45 million books citing every conceivable catastrophe from civil war, planes dropping from the sky, to the end of the civilized world as we know it. Reputable preachers were advocating food storage and a head for the cave mentality. But no banks failed, no planes crashed, no wars, no civil war. None of these prophets of gloom and doom ever materialized, in case you didn't remember. didn't happen. No, Jesus did not come.
Yeah, I'm aware. I spent thousands of dollars on survival stuff.
God. That's probably still sitting somewhere.
It probably is. It was in that old metal shed in the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably still in there.
You probably could still eat that food, too. It's probably disgusting.
Yeah, it probably was always disgusting.
Yes, it's true. Oh, but one, Pat Robertson, of course, had to put his 10 cents in about, he said that he did give equal time to optimists and pessimists. So, you know, that's saying
nice.
something for him.
Yeah.
So what did happen?
Okay.
What happened, actually?
Yeah. This is what I'm excited about.
That no planes fell out of the sky.
Right. But you said things did happen.
Well, yeah. And here's the thing. Like, so obviously Australia and the other side of the world is 24 hours ahead of us. So if you put the news on the day before when Australia was having their, you could see nothing had happened. And as it came across the world and nothing was happening, by the time it got here, by the time it was midnight on the East Coast, you should be pretty secure in the fact that nothing was going to happen.
Yeah, I remember being relieved when midnight hit in Australia.
Yeah. I
was
remember
like, all
watching
right,
it on TV.
All right, cool.
I was like, we're going to watch everything happen and nothing happen.
Right.
Okay, so what did happen? Planes didn't fall from the sky and nuclear missiles didn't self-launch, despite predictions from doommongers. Although personnel at a U.S. tracking station observed the launch of 3 missiles from Russia. This, however, was a human-ordered launch of 3 Scud missiles as the Russian-Chechenian dispute continued to escalate.
Okay.
2 nuclear power plants in Japan developed faults that were quickly addressed. The faults were described as minor and non-life-threatening. The age of the first baby born in the new millennium in Denmark was registered as 100. Had a 100-year-old baby. Bus tickets in Australia were printed with the wrong date and rejected by ticket scanning hardware. Egypt's national newswire service failed but was reinstated quickly.
Okay.
U.S. spy satellites were knocked off air for 3 days due to a faulty patch to correct the Y2K bug. Several months into the 2000s, a health official in one region of England spotted a statistic anomaly in the number of children born with Down syndrome. The ages of 154 mothers had been incorrectly calculated in January, skewing test results. The ages of these women put them in a high-risk group, but it wasn't detected. If the risks had been correctly identified, the mothers would have been offered an amniocentesis test. 4 children were born with Down syndrome, and 2 pregnancies were terminated.
Wow.
The U.S. Naval Observatory, which runs the master clock that keeps the country's official time, gave the date on its website as 1 January 19,100.
Whoa.
Yeah, we really shot into the future on that one.
Shoot, we all took a time capsule. I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card.
The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives could not register new firearm dealers for 5 days because their computers failed to recognize the date on the
I'll
applications.
bet that pissed a lot of people.
Oh, I was wrong about this one. And this one is funny because this was right here. 150 Delaware Lottery Racino slot machines stopped working.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was working in one of the casinos and I was at work. Obviously, it was New Year's Eve. I was a cocktail waitress. You didn't have off work. Yeah, so I was there when Y2K went off.
Yeah, I don't know if it was 150 at Dover Downs or if it was between, because I don't think Harrington was around yet.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Did they build them all 3 at the same time? Or right together?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was all around the same time. I mean, Harrington used to be way smaller. It was like a barn.
Yeah.
That they
I
filled with
remember.
machines. That's when it was good.
So I don't know if that was 150 like over all 3
Across
casinos.
the state.
Yeah.
Probably because sounds like it was a certain brand of slot machines.
Yeah, it was probably like the Wheel of Fortune. That one's my favorite. If I play slot machines, which I hate. But I only play slot machines. I put 20 in and that gets rid of all my bad luck.
Right. And then you go to the tables.
Yeah. And I'm not rich, so it's clearly not working out for me. Although I am going to play the lottery tonight because it's over $1 billion.
Yeah.
In New York, a video store accidentally generated a $91,000 late fee because the store computer determined a tape rental was 100 years overdue. Which that would not be cool.
No.
And you know how when you walk into and they're like, "Oh, you owe $91,000," because it's just fucking kids working there, and they're like, "Oh, you owe $91,000," and you're like, no, I sure don't. In Tennessee, the Y-12 National Security Complex stated that a Y2K glitch caused an unspecified malfunction in a system for determining the weight and composition of nuclear substances at a nuclear weapons plant. Although the United States Department of Energy stated they were still able to keep track of all the material, it was resolved within 3 hours. No one at the plant was injured, and the plant continued carrying out its normal functions. And then it created drones that are coming for us today. Just kidding. In Chicago, for one day, the Chicago Federal Reserve Bank could not transfer $700,000 from tax revenue. The problem was fixed the following day. Additionally, another bank in Chicago could not handle electronic Medicare payments until January 6th.
Yikes.
Yeah. Oh, during which time the bank had to rely on sending processed claims on diskettes.
Wow.
Yeah. Kicking it old school. In New Mexico, the New Mexico motor vehicle decision was temporarily unable to issue new driver's licenses. The campaign website for the United States presidential candidate Al Gore gave the date as 3 January 19,100 for a short time.
Go Al Gore.
Yeah, he invented the internet. He should have been able to fix it.
Cereal, guys.
Godiva Chocolatier reported that cash registers in its American outlets failed to operate.
Not Godiva.
The first became aware and determined the source of the problem on the 2nd of January and immediately began distributing a patch. A spokesman reported that they restored all functionality to most of the affected registers by the end of the day and had the rest fixed by the 3rd of January. The credit card companies MasterCard and Visa reported that as a direct result of the Y2K glitch, for weeks after the year rollover, a small percentage of customers were being charged multiple times for transactions. Microsoft reported that after the year rolled over, Hotmail emails sent in October of 99 or earlier showed up as having been sent in 2099.
Ooh, more time travel.
Yes, although this did not affect the email's contents or the ability to send and receive emails. No, but if you were trying to say that you are a time traveler and you showed somebody that email and be like, see, I have an email from 2099. That's how that started. That's how that rumor started. Yes, I fully think so. In 2020, here's the foreshadowing. Parking meters in New York stopped accepting credit card payments. This was attributed to the fact that they had hit the upper bounds of their pivot year.
Oh, yeah.
All 14,000 parking meters had to be individually visited and updated.
Shut up. Oh, my God.
Yes. So one good thing that did come of it. So September 11th, 2001. I don't know if you remember that day.
You did not put those words in the right order. One good thing that came out of it. September 11th.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. Well, you'll see why.
Okay.
I don't mean that way.
I'm just busting your balls.
All right, shut up.
All right.
So, the reason it was all the Y2K shit was good is because on September 11th, 2001, the infrastructure in New York City, including the subways, phone service, and financial transaction, were able to continue operation because of the redundant networks established in the event of a Y2K bug impact.
Oh.
The terrorist attack and the following prolonged blackout to lower Manhattan had minimal effect on global banking systems. Backup systems were activated at various locations around the region, many of which had been established to deal with a possible complete failure of networks in Manhattan's financial district on the 31st of December, 1999.
That is good.
Yeah, so, like, who knows what would have happened? I mean,
yeah,
that was
that's
like
scary to think
and you
about.
never even really think of that, like, because it just, you think of them just as they were buildings, but
yeah, you think of the two buildings, but
not everything that goes into
Right.
what was right there. But
Right.
yeah, that was something, and I'm sure that's what the terrorists were thinking. They were going to bring down
our financial
our
district.
financial
yeah.
district. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now it all makes 24 years later, it all makes sense.
That's crazy.
Skeptics pointed to the absence of Y2K related problems occurring before January and even through the 2000 financial year. So they said, the skeptics were like, well, but the financial year starts earlier anyway. So why did none of these problems happen? Because they start in 1999 in many jurisdictions. And a wide range of forward-looking calculations involved dates in 2000 and later years. Estimates undertaken in the lead-up to 2000 suggest that around 25% of all problems should have occurred before 2000. Yeah, because of the long-range dates.
Right.
Critics of large-scale remediation argued during 99 that the absence of significant reported problems in non-compliant small firms was evident that there had been and would be no serious problems needing to be fixed in any firm, and that the scale of the problem had therefore been severely overestimated. Also, countries such as South Korea, Italy, and Russia invested little to nothing in Y2K remediation, yet had the same negligible Y2K problems as countries that spent enormous amounts of money.
Joke's on you.
Yeah. Western countries anticipated such severe problems in Russia that many of them issued travel advisories and evacuated non-essential staff. They were so worried that Russia did jack shit for it that they were like, oh, everybody has to get out. Critics also cite the lack of Y2K related problems in schools, many of which undertook little or none. By September 1999, only 28% of U.S. schools had achieved compliance for mission critical systems. And a government report predicted that Y2K failures could very well plague the computers used by schools to manage payroll, student records, online curricula, and building safety systems.
Yes, because the education system doesn't get enough funding. So where the hell were they supposed to get this money to comply?
To change the dates? I don't know. They didn't, and they didn't do it, and they didn't have any problems.
Their districts probably couldn't afford it.
Okay, but also here's the thing. So, like, I'm going to play devil's advocate on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, okay, and I get it that that was critical to them, but it wasn't, like, worldwide. It wasn't shutting down the grid.
Right.
So even, like, I get it, there was not widespread problems, but it also wasn't a complicated system that they were using.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, it was just like your everyday.
Like the IT guys probably could have.
I mean, and
taken a class and then
they might have, they probably just updated like 2 years later, because the schools, I know they don't get a whole lot of money, but a lot of times they do update their systems every few years. So who knows? Maybe they updated right before and the problem was fixed on their own. Yeah. Bill Gates fixed it all on his own. I don't know, but I don't know why it didn't. Anyway. There were very few Y2K related problems in an estimated 1.5 small businesses that undertook no remediation efforts.
Good.
But again, they were not using massive systems. So January 3rd was the first weekday of the year.
Okay.
In 2000, the Small Business Administration received an estimated 40 calls from businesses with computer issues.
Oh?
40. Just 40.
Not bad.
And none of the problems were critical. But I argue, and this is my 10 cents.
Okay.
So everybody says, oh, it was just it didn't. It was like this big overblown problem and it didn't happen. And so all this money was wasted and all of this nonsense. But what if they did actually fix a problem?
Exactly.
There was an actual issue. There was going to be an actual issue. And I think the problem with Americans especially is that when it doesn't happen, we're like, oh, well, see, you just overblew it. But you never see all the shit that happens to prevent it from happening.
I mean, we saw all that with COVID. Like, everybody's like, oh, COVID, it's gone now. It's not even that big a deal. Because we got vaccinated.
It's
That's why we don't have COVID as rampantly.
And that's just it. I mean, that's the thing of it. Like, I remember when Obama was president, Ebola. We were all going to die of Ebola. Ebola was coming and it was going to run through this country. And I watched a documentary on it, and the CDC did so much before Ebola even got here that it stopped it from happening. So it was like crisis averted. And I think a lot of times that these overblown issues that everybody is like, oh, that's stupid, we spent all this money on it, but that's because we didn't know what they did. And maybe that's the government's fault, maybe that's just they're
Maybe planes would have fallen out of the sky if we hadn't done it.
exactly like maybe they did fix. I mean, there was a legitimate problem. They knew it was going to be a problem.
Yeah, and obviously there was, because there was effects from it.
There were, and they might not have been, and that's just it. So they were just little problems that happened. But what if these bigger problems were just prevented? And it seems to me that if they knew in 1984 that it was going to be a problem, then it was going to actually be a problem.
Yes.
And they fixed it.
Yes.
So we don't have Ebola. No planes fell out of anywhere. And we all lived through the Y2K craze.
That was really fun.
Thanks.
Except for me having to share.
Yeah.
But it's all right. It felt good to get it out. It's like therapy.
I went to a family reunion that night. We had to go to my dad's side of the family reunion. I don't know why. And
so you were hoping the apocalypse was going to hit.
Because my dad has 13 aunts and uncles. Whew. Yes, I think it's 13. Yes. So it was that side of the family. So there's like a kabillion of us. Luckily it was here and I didn't have to go anywhere to. But it was forced interaction.
Can you imagine if you would have died with all those people?
I would have been really pissed off.
Yeah.
Yes, because we sat, anyway, we sat in a booth, just the four of us. I was not communicating with anyone because they're stupid. I don't know. But that's what I did. And that was that actually is the last time I stayed up to watch the ball drop. 25 years ago. And these people that go to like New York to do that, no.
Even when I was young,
no. I mean, no.
You literally have to stand there all day and piss yourself. You have to wear a diaper and pee yourself. And you're cold. Yes. And you can't get food.
No. No part of it. Just for 10 seconds. Well, we'll say 15 because,
So if I could afford one of those hotel rooms
that are right there
with a balcony, where I would do that.
Maybe. Yeah. But you can't afford that. So
exactly.
Nobody can.
No.
But that's I never really understood the excitement behind New Year's anyway. I've never my thing.
Yeah. I mean, I used to enjoy it but it was when it was Dick Clark, and now it's fucking Ryan Seacrest. Like, will he ever go away? He's everywhere. I never. And I don't like the music. That probably makes me sound old, but although a lot of it is our music, but it's still shitty people that I don't want to see them back then. I don't want to see them. I want to see them now. Yeah, I don't. It's too late at night. I can't stay up that late, and well, forever. I had to work the next day anyway. I had to be at work by 6 o'clock anyway. So I don't. Plus, I've always said New Year's Eve is amateur night. It is a lot of people out drunk. Yeah. Not that people who usually drive drunk are any better, but there's a lot of people out there that do not know what they're doing. And pretty much everybody's drunk. I mean, unless you have a DD or an Uber or something like that. So it's just not worth it to go out. No. We had every day on New Year's morning, we did breakfast, and they would do the polar bear plunge. I did that one year. Our restaurant was right like a block off the beach, so that was like the busiest day of the winter. That'd be fun though.
Yeah, so we always worked. Yeah, and so I did. It's just too late.
It is.
It's too late.
The older I get, man, these days I'm ready to go to bed at 7.
I went to bed the other day at 9 because I was exhausted. The cold just wears me out.
Oh, I'm in bed by 9 every night.
Well, I try to stay out till 10.
That's why when you text me at like 9:13 and I don't answer,
which is such a turn of events because when we were younger, she would try and talk to me at 9. I'd be like, "Bitch, I'm in bed. I've been in bed, asleep for hours."
Yeah, I can't hang anymore.
I can't. It's the cold. The last week has just been standing out there, and it's the wind has been whipping, and it's just I know it's not 0 degrees, but it's cold enough, and the air here is wet and thick.
And it's typically gray
Yeah.
and seasonal depression.
And I call it the windy season. Like once we hit November, it just stays windy until and there's just differing levels of wind.
yeah, we can't have wind in the summer. We're
No,
burning up.
no.
And need a little
And then
break.
it just one day in like May, it just stops being windy until November.
yeah, and then it's 107.
Yes, and then it's just not.
And as humid as can be.
And you can feel the air. You have to like cut through the air.
Literally,
it's not fun. No. But so now we're in the windy season, and the cold blows right through me. And I heard it snowed somewhere up here. Yeah,
up north. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when my nephew went into his postal job up north today, he sent the group text that he was the weather was better, it was snowing and stuff up there, and one of our family members in Arizona was like, "Oh, send a picture." He's like, "It's rain, sleet, snow, hail, shit, just garbage. No, it's nothing pretty."
Your typical.
I'm not sending it. Your typical Delaware winter.
Delaware nonsense. Yeah, it's. I got I was sitting on the couch and I got the notification snow will end in 10 minutes in your area, and I was like, wait, it's snowing in my area? I went outside. It wasn't. It was a pack of lies.
It was supposed to snow here this morning too. It didn't.
I don't know. I do like snow. I don't like snow at my job, but I do like snow.
Mm-hmm. It is pretty.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's that about that. So that was Y2K.
Yep. So Merry Christmas to everybody,
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Holidays. Hanukkah starts tomorrow too, I think.
Oh, really?
So Happy Hanukkah to our Jewish friends, and whatever else that you celebrate. I just hope you have a nice week.
I'm gonna make a holiday like where we worship the Grinch. Grinchmas. No, that's another thing.
You can add all the characters that you like. You can have Jack.
Okay.
And Sally.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go home and watch that. Okay. Anyway.
I have to watch Die Hard tonight.
Oh, yeah. And then everybody has to watch tomorrow. I don't watch it.
What is tomorrow? Wizard of Oz?
Christmas. No. You'll shoot your eye out.
Oh,
Christmas Story.
That's not my movie.
No.
It's just nothing my family ever watched. So it just doesn't have that.
Over. And it's on repeat.
I mean, I've seen it and I've had it on the TV in the middle. I know the story. Like, I know the characters, but it's just not one I need to watch.
Ho, ho. You'll shoot your eye out. Don't shoot your eye out, everybody. You don't need a Red Ryder BB gun. But thanks for listening. Like, share, rate, review, all of the things. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are now on Pandora. I don't know if I said that or not. The website should be up at some point after the new year when I have more time to fuck around with it.
Nice.
You can follow us on all the socials at Like Whatever Pod. You can send an email to likewhateverpod@gmail or don't. Like whatever.
Whatever.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll take